Hello and welcome to the Domestic Workers Chronicles. Hashtag Abo Auntie, hashtag made for you. This is the channel Morobolelang everything Abo Auntie, domestic worker, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm your host Lindiwe Shibambo, the founder, CEO, franchisor, business strategist, business owner, anything and everything made for you. The game changer, the one who started it all. Kim Jai. Anyway, today, guys, we are talking about how to spot a good domestic worker. Like, remember on the previous episodes, we spoke about how to identify a good domestic worker, how to hire them, where to hire them. Please, if it's your first time on this channel, subscribe, like the channel, contact us if you need previous episode, the linky, any questions that you have, hala, we are here. Today, we're going to talk about how then do I spot a good domestic worker, right? So this is, we are assuming that you have shortlisted or you have identified 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 that you want to interview, right? Then what signs to look for to say this is going to be a good worker or not, right? In the previous episode, guys, just to recap, we're talking about different types of nationalities, their strengths and their weaknesses. There is so many people out there that had so much to say about it. Any comments that I've made is just comments that come from my personal experience in this sector. It's not xenophobic, it's not tribalistic, it's not sexist, it's not homophobic, it's nothing like that. It's just based on simple observation being in this sector for such a long time. However, the ones that have sent us comments, have DM'd us, some people have sent us the suggestion, it's at the topic. We will be talking about those topics and we'll address it again. And one burning question also that came from the previous episode is that, how Lindiwe, you didn't talk much about the age. So people are saying age. Is age a factor when you hire a domestic worker? Is age a factor? Of course it is. Of course it is. If I have children who are infants, they are young, they are in primary school, they are energetic, they run around, they do this and that. Of course I need someone young. I don't need someone young because of the rumor or the myth that young people are ill-disciplined, they are not matured, they are childish, they are forever on their phones and their WhatsApps and they are watching this channel and they are on TikTok. No, the reason why I would want a young person is simply because I also have young people. I want the same energy in my house and I don't want someone who's going to be tired quickly because now I've got these little rascals running around. So definitely age is a factor. I might be looking for a domestic worker for my mom. My mom is still a bit energetic. Just giving an example. Maybe my mom is 60. She stays alone and I need a domestic worker. But I need someone who can cook, clean and iron and still be there with my mom. But my mom can bath herself. She can do this and that. You know, she's still very energetic. So of course I look for someone matured. I need someone who my mom can say, do you know Mangope? Lucas Mangope. I can tell you now, the crew that's shooting this video, none of them knows who Lucas Mangope is of Felicia Mabuza. I was sitting down and I made a joke and I said, oh, I look like Felicia. And they were like, who's Felicia? So now I want someone who can have that conversation about Felicia Lucas Mangope with my mom, right? So age is a factor. For my mom, I would need someone a bit older, Nyana, who can hold a discussion and a topic with my mom about certain elements that are common between them. When we hire people, we don't want to be bored as well. We are not saying people must talk too much with their moms, but at least there must be some kind of common aspects that they can talk about, that they can relate to, right? My mom is big on morojo, you know, green spinach. What is it in English? So if I hire someone who's 40, 45, that person can cook morojo. My mom is big on ting, the sour pap. So someone 40, 45, 50 can cook pap ting. But I'm telling you, a 24-year-old might not be able to cook that pap. So age is a factor. I just wanted to get that out of the way. However, the myth that people say young people, Lindiwe, I don't want to hire a young person between the age of 18 and 25 or 30. They are on their phones. That is a myth. Let me tell you my personal story. I worked as a domestic worker at 19. Immediately after matric, at 19, I worked as a domestic worker. I was a very disciplined, dedicated, very matured domestic worker. The issue that I was 18, 19, 20, 21 did not matter. To me, I understood that the opportunity for being a domestic worker is an opportunity that was given to me by higher power. And therefore, I need to honor it and I need to bring my A game. So that was my attitude towards being a domestic worker. So, and when I hired my current domestic worker, she was about 20 something. And of course, I worried and said, oh, she's young and pretty, and what if, what not? But at the time, my daughter was still young, my son was young. I haven't given birth to the last born at the time. So I needed someone young, energetic, someone who can understand Habashebile TV. Someone, I'm comfortable with my domestic watching TV with my kids. So they like to watch the show Tsetswana. So I didn't mind. So right now my kids are growing. My firstborn is doing his second year. So she's growing with them. Understand? So when we look at age, we should not look at age to discriminate, but we should look at age in a sense that I need this age because it needs to be just. It needs to be justified. I need a young person because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there is definitely nothing wrong with a young domestic worker being on TikTok because most of us have fiber in our houses. We've got connectivity. We've got these kind of nice things. There is nothing wrong with them being on TikTok or being on Instagram and whatever. It just needs to be structured. We just need to be clear as employers to say, listen, I don't mind you connecting, but please just connect after 5 when you are relaxing in your room. Do this. Do not take away their youth because they are working as domestic workers, because they can be resentful towards you, right? So let's not use age to discriminate, but let's use age to say, what are my current needs as an employer, and will a young person or an old person or a middle-aged person meet my needs? Okay, so for the topic of the day, how do I spot a good domestic worker? So, let's say you went to an agency, you went to Made for You, they shortlisted 3 candidates for you, or you went to your friend, which is something I discourage. My viewers know this. I don't like referrals from friends or relatives because that can be detrimental towards the relationship with your friend or your relative. So let's say you went to a reliable source, let me say that. And the reliable source has recommended 3 to 6 candidates for you. And now they are coming to see you or you are meeting them. Number 1, do not meet people in your house. Can I repeat this on both cameras? Do not meet people in your house. As you know, and as if you've been watching this channel, you know I'm sensitive about energies and aura. People coming into your house, leaving toxicity and negativity, and you start fighting with your children and your husband, and yet you did not hire them. So I encourage you, when you have interactions or interviews or a chat with a potential domestic worker, rather book, or you know, this offices where you can book for an hour, or just meet them in a restaurant and buy coffee or rooibos or something and have the discussion with them there, especially where you have not hired and have not decided who you're hiring. Do not just get people in and out of your house, in and out of your house. Guys, I've got horror stories that I'll share with you of they had 14, 15, 16 domestic workers in a period of 3 years or so. Their house dino cracker. Dia cracker, fridge ya tube haya senyeha, microwave tube hile, di glass di tube hile tsotle. It's what we call energy. And their kids are so careful. They are also careful, but things are breaking because there's the wrong energy that went in there. So I'm very sensitive towards that. So when you're about to hire, please meet people in public spaces. And you know why I also encourage public spaces? It's for safety. Because if you meet someone in a public space, the cameras are there, everything is there. They can never accuse you of touching their boobs in case you are with your husband or you are a man. They can never accuse you of such things because there are people out there that are mentally unstable and there are people who are evil. That is a fact we need to accept. So you might get into trouble for something you don't know. So cover yourself, cover your back. So make sure you meet these people in a public space and you give them 15 to 20 minutes each, right? So now I'm assuming you have shortlisted, your agency has arranged for these interviews or these discussions, and you are now going to this mall and you are going to meet these domestic workers and you're going to discuss with them the job spec. Okay, so remember, when you invite a domestic worker for an interview, when you say words like interviews, they are so intimidating. Like interview, now this poor woman, I discourage those words. So just say, auntie, come, let's have a chat, re bue, re discuss ka taba mosebetsi, ngendaba yomsebenzi, ka taba ya mmereko, intiro, let's talk. If that person speaks Zulu, Tswana, whatever vernacular language, and you understand it, meet them at that level. Just keep it comfortable, keep it casual. So meet in this mall or restaurant and make sure that when you invite them, you give them the accurate time and you give them the accurate restaurant. So where you're going to meet them, right? And just make sure that you just say it's a discussion about the opportunity that you might be having. Do not invite them into your house. The first thing that will tell you this is a good domestic worker, she is going to be on time. She is going to be on time, if not 30 minutes before, if not an hour before. Number one, she's going to be on time. And if she's delayed because life happens, she's going to send a message. And she's going to say, hi, ma'am, I'm so sorry. The train crashed with the Gau train and therefore I'm not able to make it on time. I'll be there 30 minutes late. Definitely. That's the first tell sign that this person is serious and this person is someone who loves themselves and respects other people's time and respects other people's efforts. So the first thing is they are going to be on time and they are going to communicate should there be any delays. Can I just wrap it up there? That's number one. And on the next episode, continue with the other tell signs. I've got about 10, 11 tell signs that I'm going to share with you as to how to spot a good worker. Someone you know that is going to be employed in your household for the coming, I don't know how many number of years. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, send us your comment. Join me in the next episode. Thank you.